They call it a jungle, and jungles are alive. Catachan is hungry. It eats boots, it eats tanks, and it eats any man foolish enough to think he's seen a real war. In a galaxy where some worlds forge faith and others forge metal, Catachan forges survivors and ships them to the worst war zones mankind still dares to breathe.
But before we get to it, remember to like and subscribe. Now to the video.
Catachan is the Imperium's most infamous death world in the Ultima Segmentum, a planet-sized kill box where the biosphere is an enemy combatant. Every plant, every animal, even the microbes are tuned to murder. The Imperium doesn't value its timber or ore. The only resource Catachan exports is people. People who learn to outlive a jungle that never stops trying to finish them. Human towns here are fortress wounds carved into the growth, ringed by fire lanes and scourged ground. Leave a wall unwatched and the world grows over it, crushes it, swallows it. A settlement is never finished, only surviving. The first colonists came here before Imperial memory could file it. Some say during the dark age of technology, whether stranded or crash-landed, they woke to siege. With ships wrecked and the jungle prying at the hatches, they learned the first truth of Catachan. Hesitate and something you can't see eats your lungs first. Generations later, the ones who adapted became the people we now call Catachans. Even the planet's earliest wars weren't against invaders, they were against its own apex predators. Those devil wars taught tactics that later wrote the Catachan playbook. Patience, ambush, strike once and only when it counts. Catachan's plants are not just part of the scenery, they're your enemy, and they are everywhere. Brainleaf threads tendrils into the victim's spine and puppets the body until it collapses. A leaf can wear a man like a coat. Strangleweed maps warmth and tightens until bones creak. If it drags you under the soil, your friends will only find your boots. Man-traps and giant Venus man-traps look like flowers and close like guillotines, big enough to make an ogre disappear. Spine trees stay quiet until disturbed, then volley spines that punch through flak. Spikers do the same with crystalline shrapnel pods. Grappleweed and sucker trees don't fight, you do, while they drown you or drink you dry. On most worlds, a wrong turn is embarrassing. On Catachan, a wrong breath is fatal. The air itself carries rot, spores that turn lungs to soup, and microbes that eat wounds from the inside before the medicae can uncap a vial. Then there are the animals, the ones that hunt back. Catachan devils are a land train of chitin and hate. Scorpion, centipede, sea dram. Claws that shear through plating like it would be paper. A paralytic stinger and a temper that matches Angron's. Killing one is a rite of passage, and most rites end with a memorial. Barking toads are deceptively docile, but when pushed, detonates a toxin cloud that liquefies anything in a wide radius, including itself. Whole valleys become no-go zones for weeks. It's the single most poisonous thing many Imperial xenologists have ever recorded. Giant mosquitoes, death cobras, and vein worms. All the small horrors that prove size isn't the only way to kill. On Catachan, disease often outperforms fangs. You don't live on Catachan, you qualify. Those who do become the Imperium's deadliest light infantry, the Catachan Jungle Fighters. Children here learn to shoot before most off-worlders learn to read. They memorize poison scents like other kids learn nursery rhymes. The world teaches them one ethnic lesson: survive. They are close combat specialists and ambush artists. Knife, last carbine, flamer, and demo charge. If it crawls, they trap it. If it breathes, they smoke it out. If it doesn't bleed, they set it on fire and move. The red bandana is oath and warning in one. Scars are medals and names are earned. Snakebite, one eye, iron fist. Catachans respect leaders who bleed with them, not clerks with ranks. Commissars assigned to their regiments learn fast or vanish. Even Monitorium pencil necks understand you don't break Catachan spirit. You point it like a knife. Their legends are appropriately obscene. Colonel Ironhand's Traken, half metal, all violence, lost an arm to a Miral landshark and finished the beast without one. He walked off the battlefield with augmentics and never left the front lines again. Sly Marble, more ghost than man, fights one-man wars in the dark. If you can hear him, it's already over. The Departamento Monitorium uses Catachans like a lockpick for a nightmare terrain. If the battlefield is a maze or a sump forest, Xeno jungle, or even a hive underlevel, you send Catachans. They don't just hold lines, they erase problems. In the Dolmalin cleansing, after years of failure, jungle fighters turned swamps into killing jars. Knives did what bombardments couldn't. Orcs called them the stabbing Yumis and fled into marshes where the Catachans were waiting. When the Venom Wars happened, chaos-tainted jungles ate other regiments for breakfast. For Catachans, it was just home with new colors. They rooted heretics out by turning the forests against them. During the Third War for Armageddon, in equatorial jungles and hive undergrowth, they stalked orc mobs, ambushed camps, and carved green tides into manageable corpses. Armageddon held not just because armor was strong, but because knives were patient. During the Tyranid incursions, when splinter fleets sniffed around Ultima Segmentum, the jungle fighters haunted vanguard organisms on equal terms. Some xenobiologists even whisper evolutionary parallels between the Catachan devil and hive creatures. Whether myth or not, Catachans made sure the only study samples were dead. A Catachan patrol can hold a sector without a line. Give them a week and they'll hand you a crate of enemy helmets and a map where your problem used to be. Every now and then, something decides to test Catachan itself. Orcs in search of a scrap, chaos chancing a Terran reality. Catachan doesn't take sides, so it kills everyone equally. The difference is that the locals have learned to aim the killing. Warzone Catachan, M42. When the Great Rift tore sanity in two, demons manifested in the Green Knight. Strachan led regiments through the living maze, weaponizing flora and terrain, strangled vines and spiker nests, doing as much work as Lasfire. Indomitus fleets later found a world that hadn't begged for rescue. It had set the table and cleared it. The jungle eats orc raids like it eats men, only faster. You can occupy a landing zone, but you can't occupy Catachan. Post-Rift, the galaxy bleeds from 1,000 cuts, and Catachan answers with more regiments than ever. The tide isn't ore, it's expertise. Men and women built to survive where maps lie and Vox goes dead. The settlements are bigger bastions now, part redubbed against both jungle and the unclean. Adeptus Mechanicus enclaves keep trying to study or weaponize the fauna, but the results range from unethical to catastrophic. The ecclesiarchy preaches here, but on Catachan, piety often looks like boiling water, cleaning wounds, and living long enough to serve again tomorrow. And that's the cost. On Catachan, civilian and soldiers are basically the same word now. Everyone fights because everyone must. Guilliman's crusade may respect them, but the jungle does not. In a universe where we like our heroes clean and our wars tidy, Catachan offers neither. In a world that says, the universe wants you dead, get better at not dying. It's not noble, it's not pretty, but it's honest work. A Catachan knife is just a slab of sharpened habit, cut from a culture that outruns fog and outstares plants. Drop these fighters anywhere in the galaxy and the jungle comes with them, in their patience, in their refusal to play fair, in their understanding that the only fair fight is the one you already rigged. In the grim darkness of the far future, hope is a rumor. Or in Catachan, survival isn't, it's a birthright. And when that birthright ships out, entire war zones start breathing quieter until the Green Knight whispers again.
Please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on new content. If you have any questions or suggestions for the future, leave it down in the comments and I'll see you, my friend, next time.